Guys, if you're watching this interview, I'm not really professional or something, so this is the first time we're doing a podcast outside of my home, and so yeah. Without further ado, let's start the interview.
Let's jump in. Let's do this, right. Ace. You got this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Still Shout. This is Ace, and today I'm with Matt from the band Cryptopsy. First of all, welcome to Saudi Arabia. On behalf of all the metal community here in Saudi Arabia, we welcome you.
I greatly appreciate being here. It's awesome. I never expected when I started screaming many years ago, in my basement, that it would bring me across the globe here in Saudi Arabia, of all places. It's an honor. We've been having a blast.
Thank you so much. First of all, this is your first time here in Saudi Arabia, so I wanted to ask you, what was the reaction when you received the news? Oh, so Cryptopsy is gonna perform in Saudi Arabia. What was the reaction of you and the guys?
The tour came together over the past few months, and we had Dubai listed, and we were all very excited to come to Dubai because we'd never been there, and we'd seen the pictures of it and seen footage, and I'm sort of getting back into wrestling. I've turned 40 years old this year, and I'm getting into birding.
You're still young, man.
Bird watching, and I'm falling back in love with wrestling for some reason. And I knew that it was big in Dubai and that they did big things there. But all that fell apart, sadly, and the Saudi date was actually added like 4 weeks ago, and it didn't click right away how special this was, until I started telling people about it, that I was coming to Saudi Arabia. And everyone that I was telling that I was coming to Saudi Arabia with extreme metal, they were surprised. And I will be honest, some people were concerned because they're not aware of how modern and how quickly this culture and this country has been evolving over the past 5 years since everything opened up in 2018. So I've been having a blast, and I'm very happy that we're here. It's a special occasion to be the first international extreme metal band to ever perform here tonight.
So you had the tour yesterday in Riyadh. Let me know your thoughts about how you saw the civilization and how modern things went now for Riyadh and Saudi Arabia. I know you did not expect that, but I want to hear your thoughts. What was the special about this place, and what did you see? So I want to know your thoughts and your opinion about what the current events that's going on in Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely. We had very limited expectations of what it was going to be like. So when we landed, the first feeling that we got, and seeing the infrastructure that is quickly rising everywhere around the country, is it reminds us of Vegas. Is the closest thing. The landscape, the weather, the desert part of it, and then the lights and the grandeur of it all is the closest thing that we could say. Yesterday we had an amazing day. We ate way too much food. You guys have delicious food, but a lot of it. The quantities of food that were given to us, and apparently it's not just special for us. Gigi from Heavy Arabia let me know just before that it's a standard cultural thing, that there's a lot of food on the table. We had a great time. We went to Boulevard and experienced how quickly everything has just grown here. It's astounding. Things move very slowly in Canada, building wise, and you guys are just way ahead of us on that so quickly. It was very interesting to go to the Boulevard. I would have loved to have been there with my kids. I feel like they would have been very blown away. I think it must be a very interesting thing for someone that never left Saudi Arabia to go experience all these little glimpses into people's cities and different feelings from across the globe. We went to Merwaz's studio, which was just unbelievable, seeing the world's biggest studio and the amount of gear. We were like, Chris is a producer in my band, our guitarist, and Dom, who's playing bass for Cryptopsy on this tour, is also a producer, and Mega, our sound man, is also a producer. So they were like uber nerding out about every rack unit, about everything there. It was really special. But when we were at Boulevard, we sort of were disappointed. We wanted to see the historical roots of Riyadh, which we did not get to experience at Boulevard. So we went to the Old Town, and from there we really like felt the culture much more, and we appreciated that very much.
So let's talk about the scene here. Let's talk about the metal music now. After all the experience and here and this, what experience do you have about the metal scene in the Middle East in general? I know you know a little bit about the scene in Dubai or the bands that came out from the UAE and other countries. So I want to hear your thoughts. What knowledge do you know, or what events have you heard of from the Middle East?
I am horribly unversed in this topic. I do not know enough, and I am shameful of that. I'm shamed.
No, I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
I do not know enough about it. I do not know of many bands that have come from here. Mm-hmm. I know of that for many years it was secret here, and that you had to have shows. I found that out yesterday, that it was like a drug deal almost. You would go to a cafe and slide money across the table to someone, and if people, there would be like bouncers at the door of the gigs to vet the people coming into the show to make sure that they actually were heavy metal enthusiasts. So I think that's special, and I did not know that. So I'm excited to learn more and more, and I'm excited to see the bands perform tonight. There's 2 bands playing from Saudi tonight. One of them is from a different country, though.
So tonight, you guys gonna play with we have Nick Russen from Bahrain.
That's it. Yeah.
And Creative Waste from Saudi Arabia. They are one of the OGs here in Saudi Arabia who plays grindcore.
Okay.
Which is even a genre that's that's the beauty of it, that we have a band that you don't hear common bands that they play as a grindcore. I think we have like Napalm Death as a grindcore, and Benighted in the early days. So we have a lot of bands here in Saudi Arabia who with different genres. That's the beauty of it, and I think after the show you're gonna experience with a lot of that. Well, what do you say, or what do you have commentary about this?
I'm looking forward to getting a plethora of Saudi and Arabic scene metal in one sitting tonight. I'm excited for that. Yeah. I have lots of questions, but people are going to have to come and listen to the Vox and Hops episode that I'm about to record, which I'm going to release soon, about my experience here in Saudi.
Matt, let me ask you about the experience from you guys. There was a question I've seen from the live you went with Gigi on Instagram. In general, since you guys have been playing over 30 years, almost, so do you get influence, or do you get inspired by new generation bands, for example, or is there specific elements or specific stuff you take from the new generation or upcoming bands or artists?
We definitely pay attention to everything that's going on. It is important when you are a part of a genre to be aware of what your peers are doing and what the newer generations are bringing to the table. I do find it extremely exciting for death metal in 2023 to have 3 of the OGs dropping great records with Cryptopsy, Cannibal Corpse, Dying Fetus, all in one year. But also in that year, there's a huge resurgence of appreciation and young bands playing old school death metal style music, such as Frozen Soul, Sanguisugabog, Creeping Death, 200 Stab Wounds, Undeath. Not sure if I already said that. Frozen Soul. It's just very exciting, and having all this new young generation of people coming and watching young people perform an older style of music with their own little twist on it. I think that's very exciting. For myself, I do find myself being inspired by prolific vocalists. I have been working for the past 16 years to become a better and better extreme vocalist for Cryptopsy since 2007, since I've been in the band. And there are instances that I find myself being inspired by Travis Ryan from Cattle Decapitation, Ollie from Archspire, all little different things that I try to add to my arsenal while making it my own. For the band, I think that they just write for themselves, and definitely pay attention to what works. But Cryptopsy has an identity that we have to respect. So there's an umbrella that we have to stay within under the identity of what Cryptopsy is, while being not influenced but inspired. Seeing what atmospheric elements worked for Aborted when we toured with them, and watching what's happened to Cattle, it's interesting to add a little bit more breathing room into our compositions, which we have been, and adding a little bit of darkness to it without it being black metal.
Oh, okay. And I was talking with a couple of friends about Cryptopsy's latest releases, As Gomorrah Burns. This is your newest album from 11 years, I would say.
Yes, it's our first full length, but we have been releasing EPs since then.
And I was blown away by that. And to be honest, I've said that before. I know Cryptopsy as a name, and I've listened to a couple of albums, but I think I got stuck really with As Gomorrah Burns. I got really stuck with that, and I'm truly excited to see you guys performing tonight. I wanted to ask you the last question, then we can wrap this up. So, with your experience, what advice would you like to give for the scene here in Saudi Arabia? Since we have a lot of coming bands, we have OGs in here. What specific things you would advise them to do or to consider for them to get more exposure, to get more recognition, to grab the people's attention, to them to get listened, and to know that there is a scene here in Saudi Arabia?
I think that the main thing that's happening right now is, beginning tonight, is inviting international bands to come here and then have them promoted on social media, their experience here, take good care of them. For the younger bands that are out there, my suggestion would be to work together. It's not a competition. There is no competition in extreme music and music in general. It is a collaborative effort. If anybody is doing something successful, it's not something that you need to be jealous about. It's something that you should be proud of, and you should try to help them. Competition is only going to tear you down and be a waste of time. I would definitely encourage more artists to come here, because we've had a great time seeing how everything is growing, and knowing that you guys just announced Metallica at Soundstorm in the coming weeks it's unbelievable. So the sky is the limit with Saudi Arabia. Dubai, you better watch out, because the Saudi's coming for you. But no competition.
Matt, it's truly an honor to have you here, and I'm looking forward to the show tonight.
Hell yes.
So we're going to wrap this up, and on behalf of all the entire metal community here in Saudi Arabia, we welcome you, and it's an honor to have you here. Guys, big thanks to Gigi from Heavy Arabia. Big thanks to Heavy Arabia.
Shukran. Gigi, we are honored, and you've taken such good care of us, and we greatly appreciate everything you've done for us.
This interview is sponsored by Heavy Arabia. Thanks to Gigi for all of her efforts, for everything she has done for the metal scene in here. And we hope next year with Cryptopsy, Dying Fetus.
I'm interested. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. We could throw in Sagwasugabog. Why not? Let's make it interesting.
Bring Sangasugabag, and I'll be opening the front door for you. Hey, we can take them to that restaurant we had yesterday, right?
I'm pretty sure that Devin Swank would enjoy that very much.
Matt, thank you so much, and we hope to see you very, very soon after the performance of tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and see you guys.